Good Sunday morning, everybody, and I want to wish everyone out there a very, very happy Easter. And I wish I had better news on this Easter Sunday, but as you can see, the southern and central portions of Mississippi has been issued underneath a risk of severe weather, basically from the cities of Gulfport, Biloxi, Pascagoula, Mississippi, Olive. Ocean Springs, Mississippi, stretching all the way up to just south of Kosciuszko for this afternoon and this evening. And I'm going to show you guys here in just a second the areas and the timing of the area. But once again, Vicksburg, Jackson, Meridian, Hattiesburg, and then up here towards the northern portions of the Jackson, Mississippi metro area, stretching to Carthage, Philadelphia, and Canton, Mississippi as well, just south of Kosciuszko and Durant, Mississippi. You guys are underneath a risk for severe storms later today. Now, real quick, there is a one lone severe thunderstorm warning that does include the areas down here close to Increase, Mississippi. It has come on through Meridian, Mississippi. However, earlier today, this morning, there was a couple of areas of large hail up here around the Philadelphia, Mississippi area. And that unfortunately, I hate to bring this up, but there is a tornado risk later on this afternoon and this evening where you see the yellow shaded area. So let me take you over here and show you just a second the actual timing from the National Weather Service in Jackson, and there is your timing. If you are along the 20 corridor or where 20 crosses into 59 there in Meridian, across Jackson, Vicksburg, Forest, Newton, Meridian, Carthage. If you are in Canton, Mississippi, if you guys are in Madison, Ridgeland, your time is as early from 1 p.m. all the way until 6 p.m. this evening. And then your threat shifts down into the Pine Belt area in southern Mississippi from Natchez to Brookhaven over to Laurel, Ellisville, and Hattiesburg between 5 p.m. and 9 p.m. And as you can see, if you are in the yellow shaded area, basically from Philadelphia, Mississippi, all the way down to the coast of Mississippi, damaging winds upwards of 60, hell up to golf ball sized. And look right there, tornadoes are possible. So, once again, this is going to be now the early morning stuff is going to slide on to the south. The storms that are around Meridian, they're going to cross on into the state of Alabama here pretty soon. And then this afternoon and evening, we're going to have a line of storms and storms develop around the Shreveport, Louisiana area down to the area of Alexandria, Louisiana, and they're going to move into southwestern and central Mississippi this afternoon and this evening. And if you, like I said, if you guys are on the northern portions of Mississippi, basically from Philadelphia up to the Highway 82 corridor, your severe weather threat will be over by 2 p.m. If you are along the 55 corridor or the 20 corridor, basically from Vicksburg over to Meridian, including the Jackson, Mississippi metro area, 1 until 6 p.m. And then the Pine Belt area down there, close to Natchez, to Brookhaven, Hattiesburg, Laurel, Ellisville, and places like that, you guys could see it between 5 p.m. and 9 p.m. And then after 9, it will move down along to the coastline of Mississippi, along the areas down there of Ocean Springs, Gulfport, Biloxi, and then getting down there into Slidell, Louisiana. And then after that, it will slide off the coast and we will be dry by the time we get into the day tomorrow. So I wished I had much better news for you guys on this Easter. However, it does look like that the threat of severe storms will unfortunately be the case down here in Mississippi for today. Now, in the evening hours is when it is going to be like after 9. It's when it's going to be down in the Slidell, Louisiana area over to Biloxi and into the areas of Pascagoula and places along the immediate coast. So if you're watching this down there along the immediate coast, your threat is going to be this evening. And if you're watching along the Natchez corridor over towards Brookhaven and Macomb, Mississippi, Hattiesburg, Laurel, or Ellisville in the Pine Belt area between 5 and 9 p.m., the Jackson metro area, Vicksburg metro area over to Meridian, it's going to be 1 p.m. until 6 p.m. And then up there across the Highway 82 corridor in between Philadelphia and all the way up to Starkville, Columbus, your severe weather threat will be over by 2 p.m. this afternoon and this evening. So it does look like that it is going to be mostly a big deal when we get. Oh, hey. Sorry about that. Okay, so sorry about that, guys. Okay, so there, of course, is your severe weather threat that does include the Jackson, Mississippi metro area and includes Vicksburg and Meridian. Now, let me also show you real quick. Let me take off the severe weather risk here, and I can actually show you the model runs and show you the HRRR. Okay, let's see. I want to do. Oh, yeah. I want to go to 12Z. And you will watch over here around the Shreveport area later on this afternoon and evening. You're going to have storms that develop and slide back across the southern portions of Mississippi. And give it just a second, and it will start over again. So there, of course, there is 3 p.m. this afternoon. You got your severe storms basically from Shreveport over here into the Maiden and Ruston, Louisiana area. And then by 6 p.m., all of this stuff down here around the Hattiesburg area, south of Jackson, over to Natchez, any of this stuff, and you can see there's very large hail cores in this. These areas are going to have to be watched for the potential of damaging straight line winds, large hail, and a couple of tornadoes. And as you can see down here, any of these rogue storms that are out ahead of the main line, like this one down here in the DeSoto National Forest this afternoon and this evening, are going to have to be watched. And then as we move along, it crosses into the Gulfport area and Biloxi by around 9 o'clock tonight, and then it shifts off into the Gulf, and we are done with severe weather. And so I'm going to play this for you again one more time to let you kind of see. And by 2 o'clock, we are going to have a couple of storms that are sitting right here around Brandon and Jackson. We're going to have to watch those this afternoon and this evening around 2 o'clock. We're also going to have to watch these down here north of Pascagoula because that is going to be the time frame of the most significant severe weather. And then this area back over here in the Shreveport area is going to slide this way into Jackson and Hattiesburg like that throughout the afternoon and the evening, if I could draw correctly. But this watch as it comes. Okay, so 5 o'clock, we've got him. We got him knocking on the door this afternoon at 5 o'clock, 5 to 6. Vicksburg over to Jackson, Ridgeland, then Natchez, Mississippi, Macomb, and over to Hattiesburg. And any of these storms down here in this area are going to be able to produce damaging straight line winds, large hail, and a couple of tornadoes. And then, as you can see, around 7 o'clock, they are down here in the Pine Belt area of Mississippi, stretching over from Macomb over to south of Hattiesburg into the Wiggins and Poplersville area. And then eventually after that, they will switch down here to Gulfport, Pascagoula, and off the coast of Mississippi. So that is the area of concern. And basically, if we're going to see any severe weather today, it is going to be in this area of Mississippi this afternoon and this evening, basically from Ridgeland, Mississippi, and Philadelphia, and points all the way down here off the coast of Mississippi. Now, I do note that the National Weather Service in Mobile has issued a brand new severe thunderstorm warning that includes the Quitman, Mississippi area, and this is going to be for quarter-sized hail and damaging winds in excess of 60. Now, with the storms that are out here this morning, the good news is that all of these are going to be elevated. So yes, you can have some hail. Yes, you can have some damaging straight line winds, but none of the storms this morning are going to be tornado producers. The tornado producers, if we see any, are going to be in the afternoon and this evening as we get some afternoon heating. Now, if you are in Philadelphia, stretching down the Meridian, you've got more strong thunderstorms, but none of these are severe, especially around the Union, Mississippi area along the 15 corridor and the 19 corridor. And then up here towards the Oxford area, Tupelo, and Starkville, you've got little bitty popcorn showers that are stretching in between Starkville and Louisville, Mississippi. But like I said, none of these are severe right now. And I don't expect any of these up here in East Mississippi to become severe. I think the majority of the severe weather is going to be down here in this area from Vicksburg, Jackson, Philadelphia to Meridian, and points off towards the southwest this afternoon and this evening. And we are about to get this storm here within the next 20 minutes over here into the state of Alabama. So the one down here from Quitman to Meridian, we're about to be done with the severe weather for a little while until this afternoon and this evening. So if you've got plans for Easter, let me just go ahead and say that going ahead and do them this morning before the severe weather moves into your area, because as we get into the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 time frame, we are really going to have to watch all of this area down here in Mississippi for the potential of that line of storms that are coming through the Shreveport area about that time, and they're going to slide in here like this. And any of the storms that form out ahead of the main line could have the potential to produce tornadoes and damaging straight line winds. So one more time before I sign off for a little while, I wanted to show you that there is, let me take off the radar because that's confusing. There is your severe weather risk for this afternoon and this evening, and it's basically going to run from the areas of Philadelphia, Mississippi, and Carthage over to Canton, and then points off towards the south and to the west. And I think the further south and west you go in the Mississippi, your greater chance of severe weather goes up. The lesser threat of severe weather it's going to be up here, basically from Oxford and Tupelo down to the Highway 82 corridor. Now, you could see a rogue severe storm up here, but the greatest threat is going to be the further south and southwest into Mississippi that you go. And there, of course, are some of the cities that are in the local areas that are in the risk of severe weather today: Vicksburg, Canton, Philadelphia, Forest, Meridian, Waynesboro, Laurel, Hattiesburg, Columbia, Macomb, Brookhaven, Natchez, Woodville, and then obviously getting down here, Slidell, Louisiana, Gulfport, Pascagoula, Biloxi, Bay St. Louis, Picayune, Mississippi as well, and then of course Poplarville. So that is the area that is going to have the greatest chance of severe weather later today and tonight. As soon as we get these storms around Meridian into the state of Alabama, we are done with severe weather until about 2 o'clock today. And then about 2 o'clock today, we're going to have to watch over here in western and southwestern Mississippi for the potential of damaging straight line winds, large hail, and a couple of tornadoes this afternoon and this evening. Now, as always, anytime a tornado warning is issued for the state of Mississippi, I will be here providing severe weather coverage for you guys in the event we have a tornado watch or a tornado warning this afternoon and this evening. And if we have any reports of large damaging hail, I will be here providing severe weather coverage for you guys in the event that we have severe weather later this afternoon and this evening. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Easter. Keep it tuned right here on social media, and I will be providing more updates this afternoon and this evening as it warrants, as we have the threat of severe weather in Mississippi later this afternoon and this evening. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Happy Easter, and God bless. All right, take off. I'll do this with you. Happy Easter to everybody in the state of Alabama. This is Stephen Ray, and I wanted to do a short little video here in the state of Alabama and over here, and especially if you are in southwest Alabama, because as you can see later on this afternoon and this evening, the Storm Prediction Center has placed a small portion, and this is relatively small compared to the entire state of Alabama, of southwest Alabama, underneath a risk of severe storms this afternoon and this evening. And it does look like that severe weather potential is going to come this afternoon and this evening. Now, it does look like that if you were going to be across the area of Tensall to Burnt Corn to Butler to Mobile to Camden to Grove Hill and points off to the northwest, your threat is going to be this morning from 11 a.m. until 9 p.m. this afternoon and this evening. If you are in the rest of Alabama, your threat is going to be from 2 p.m. until 3 a.m. Now, winds will cause damage to trees, power lines, structures, and crops. Quarter-sized hail or larger, and a tornado or two are possible. Now, there are going to be multiple rounds of severe weather. We currently have a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings that are across the state line over here in Mississippi, near the Quitman, Mississippi area, that is causing quarter-sized hail and damaging winds in excess of 60. So if you were over here in Lisbon, Butler, Needham, or places like that over here in Alabama, you guys need to prepare for a strong thunderstorm and the potential of very large hail. Now, the good news is the early morning stuff that is on the radar that you see right now, as you can see, very, very little rotation in here. And the reason for that is because these are still elevated thunderstorms. They are not rooted at the ground. You can't have, or it's very unlikely to have, an elevated thunderstorm with a tornado. The tornado threat and the severe weather threat is going to come a little bit later on this afternoon and this evening as storms progress across Louisiana, Mississippi, and then move into Alabama later on this afternoon and this evening. So once again, there is your area of in the slight risk, basically from York in Sumter County all the way down into Linden, Demopolis, Thomasville, Grove Hill, Lisbon, Butler, Millery, Jackson, Monroeville, Chatham, just southwest of Evergreen, over to Brewton, Atmore, Bay Minette, Saraland, downtown Mobile, Pritchard, and then stretching over here into Bayou La Batre, and then stretching back over here into Mississippi. Summerdale, Robertsdale, and Loxley, and Daphne, you guys are in the risk as well. And then everybody else is going to be in the marginal risk with an isolated severe weather threat as far north as the Birmingham Metro and Tuscaloosa. And then everybody else is going to be in the general thunderstorm area. So in the entire state of Alabama, the smallest risk of severe storms is going to be in the southwestern portions of Alabama, basically from Livingston all the way down to Mobile and the Bayou La Batre coast of Alabama. So those are the most significant areas of severe weather on this Easter, and everybody else is in the marginal risk, which basically means an isolated tornado and an isolated severe storm is possible, but it's not likely in Birmingham, Montgomery, Tuscaloosa, and places like that. The more scattered severe storms are going to be down here in the far southwestern and southern portions of Alabama. And this is going to come after 2 o'clock this evening, 2 o'clock this afternoon, until 9 p.m. tonight. So between 2 and 9, if you are down here in southwestern Alabama. So guys, I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. Happy Easter, and I will always provide severe weather coverage in the event that we do have a couple of severe storms and tornadoes a little bit later on this afternoon and evening. However, as you can see right here, you are about to get some small hail and gusty winds from Lisbon to Butler, and then stretching down here towards the Needham, Alabama area along the 17 corridor and the 10 corridor, as these elevated thunderstorms are about to cross the state line right now. And it does look like this is also moving towards the Toxie, Alabama area. However, like I said, none of these are showing any signs of rotation. because these are going to be elevated right now, and that is good news. However, later on this afternoon and this evening, we could get a couple of surface-based storms that could contain a couple of tornadoes this afternoon and this evening. So I will continue to watch everything here in southwest Alabama. And let me also zoom out and show you what we've got going on real quick. For the rest of the morning, we've got this one batch of storm. Actually, hold on. We've got this one batch about to move into Butler, and they're going to slide like this for the rest of the day. Then this afternoon and this evening, we're going to have a line of storms that are going to develop over here near Shreveport and slide this way across Mississippi and get into southwest Alabama. Actually, you know what? Let me take this off. I can actually show you what this is going to do this afternoon and this evening. So there is what we got going on at 8 a.m. Okay, let me see. 14. Okay, so at 10 a.m., that's where the line of storms were at 10 a.m. And as you can see, as we get into the afternoon and evening, we're going to have to watch this area of storms over here near Natchez, Mississippi, and then any of these down here near the Hattiesburg area. And then as we get into 9 o'clock, we're going to have this strong thunderstorm that is going to be sitting near Jackson to Grove Hill. That could be a pretty nasty storm. And then we're going to have these down here west of Mobile, and these down here near Bayou La Batre and Saraland that we're going to have to watch for the remainder of the evening as we get down here into the afternoon and evening hours tonight. And then they all push off the coast. Now, see, 2 p.m., we're going to have to watch any of these storms down here along the 21 corridor and the 43 corridor in between Beatrice, Vredenburg, over to Grove Hill, and Fulton for the possibility of a couple of tornadoes and damaging straight line winds. And then we're going to have to keep our eye on this over here near the Shreveport area, as that is going to progress over here in the Mississippi. And then as you can see, we're going to have more storms develop down here in South Alabama around 8 o'clock tonight, and any of those could be severe as well. And then the main line is going to be stretching down here from Macomb, Mississippi, stretching over to Hattiesburg and just west of the Mobile metro area. And any of these storms down here in the warm sector of the system, basically any of these storms right here could produce tornadoes, damaging straight line winds, and a few tornadoes. So anybody within this area that I have circled here needs to prepare for the potential of damaging straight line winds this afternoon and this evening, tornadoes, and very large hail on the order of golf ball size or larger. So guys, that is what is going to happen this afternoon and this evening. As always, I will be here providing severe weather coverage for you guys in the event that we have severe weather this afternoon and this evening. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Easter. And one more time, I want to show you this right here, that we currently have a couple of strong thunderstorms that are about to push into Lisbon, Butler, and Needham, Alabama. And these are going to be racing off towards the southeast at 35 miles per hour. And so we are about to get some strong thunderstorms move through Lisbon and Butler that could produce winds in excess of 40 miles per hour and nickel-sized hail. So, guys, I will be here providing severe weather coverage for you guys for the remainder of the afternoon and evening. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Easter. Have multiple ways of receiving warnings, and I will be back as needed today here